Polls in the Atlantic provinces are now open, and soon they'll be open across the country. Conservative strategist Jason Leader, Liberal strategist Omar Khan, and former NDP MP Olivia Chow join me now to break down each party and how they're looking on voting day. Good to see all three of you so early this morning. Jason, let's start with you. A 40-day campaign, a lot of promises, a lot of scandals from everyone on all angles. How are the Conservatives looking today?
So here's the thing. I think they're trying to replace a government that's, they're trying to do something sort of unprecedented. A guy that's got a majority government trying to replace him the first time he's out. I think Scheer's ran a good campaign. I think their message discipline on the affordability message has been really good. I think it's been a tough campaign for all of the campaigns, other than Mr. Singh. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Mr. Singh's done some good stuff. But I think Scheer is poised to win seats. The question is, is he going to be able to get enough to get a government? I hope so. A lot of Conservatives with their fingers crossed.
Omar, I heard yesterday on Question Period that this election became a referendum on Justin Trudeau, and because of that, we're looking at a minority situation. What do you make of a possible minority situation for the Liberals? And a lot of people have said anything less than a majority, a disappointment for the Liberals.
Well, I think it's become a referendum on what kind of Canada you want. Yeah. And the message that the Prime Minister and his team have been putting forward and will continue to put forward today is that you really have two choices. There's only really two people who have a legitimate shot, with all due respect to Mr. Singh, to become the Prime Minister, and that's Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau. So you can vote for Mr. Scheer, who will eliminate our plan to price pollution, who has no plan for climate change, and who's going to impose 4 times as many cuts as Doug Ford has here in Ontario. Or you can vote for someone who Barack Obama has called one of the most progressive leaders in the Western world. So that's the choice that Canadians face today, and hopefully they'll make the right decision.
Olivia, the NDP have big plans, $35 billion to fulfill the party's promises, including $10 billion for pharmacare, $5 billion for building affordable homes, nearly $2 billion for ending boil water advisories for Indigenous communities. A lot of undecided voters out there. Is that going to be enough to get a lot more of them into the NDP camp?
And ask the super rich to pay a little more. And I'm so excited, I can just stand up and jump up because we are, I'm not sure your producer want me to do that. We have momentum, there's lots of energy. Jagmeet Singh, the more people see him, the more they like him. He's genuine, he connects with people, he gets it, he's in it for people. And what he's really pushing for is exactly what people want. And he wants to, and there's a lot of people that have voted for Justin Trudeau last time. They don't quite like it anymore because they're disappointed, and they want Jagmeet Singh and the New Democrats to keep him honest and get things done. Because, and he's the only one that's running a campaign on hope. Because you just heard all the fear thing, right, from my friend from the left here. Left? Oh, that's weird. Should be my friend on my right.
No, what do you all make of this? The fact that we are sitting here in one of the closest election campaigns in memory. There was the argument that was, this has been a negative campaign by a lot of people, by a lot of parties, and because of that, voters have been turned off, and they've been looking for the more optimistic take, which you could argue has come from the NDP.
I've never seen so few lawn signs. I've never seen so many people sort of talking about politics. I will say the biggest change in this campaign has been Mr. Trudeau's tone. I will say, I think to be fair to him, 2015, he ran a very positive campaign, sunny ways, all that kind of stuff. He started off this campaign sort of attacking his opponents and has kept that going. I think there's been a lot of that from all sides. I'm not trying to put it all on one guy, but I think that's one of the reasons why people are having a hard time digging into this campaign. I hope that they go out and vote, though, and I hope you do have a very clear choice, right? One guy who, the Liberals are telling you, listen, you're doing great. You can't, everything's going great just with us. And the Conservatives are sort of saying, listen, you find yourself falling a little bit behind. Why don't you give us a chance as well? So that's the choice that you're facing, I think.
Omar, respond.
Look, I think one of the biggest strategic errors in this campaign was how aggressively Mr. Scheer came out against Mr. Trudeau in the opening moments of the first English language consortium debate. A leader is supposed to act and behave like a leader, not like somebody who ran a war room. Jason's run a war room. But a lot of times in this campaign, Mr. Scheer came across like he was a war room staffer, not somebody ready to be the Prime Minister. And, to the point about, how things are going in the country today, the economy is humming. We have, 40-year low unemployment and G7 leading economic growth. 100%, not everyone's benefiting equally. That's why we need to re-elect a progressive government tonight.
If that's the case, why do I see homeless people out in the street as I was coming in?
Lots more to do.
You know, from that debate, Jagmeet Singh obviously won that, what people said, like the pundits said, won that debate because he connects, he gets it.
But the wild card that came up the middle that I don't think a lot of people expected was the Bloc Québécois and their growth in Quebec, really pushing a lot of the other traditional parties out of the way, which is leading us to what we ultimately is going to be probably a minority scenario
government
tomorrow.
Well, keeping people honest is good, and getting things done is good, because at the end of the day, all the pretty words and all the promises, you know, people are having a hard time making ends meet.
And look, Quebec is going to be a big disappointment for the NDP tonight, most likely. And it's one of the reasons why, you know, I like Jagmeet. He's actually a friend of mine. But he has no chance to be the Prime Minister tonight. If you want a progressive Prime Minister, you have to vote Liberal.
I love that Quebec's going to be a big disappointment for the NDP. The guys who said they were going to win 50 or 60 seats in Quebec.
Well,
have some disappointments as well.
Still leading.
I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed tonight for a lot of different reasons.
Except the New Democrats.
To each and every one of you, thank you for taking the time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.